Thank you so much for joining us, Lawson. So first of all, do you agree with the DCJ that the Commission actually does need an extension?
Well, good afternoon, Sally. Thank you very much. Look, it's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation at the 11th hour where this further application for an extension is being made. The previous extension was from the end of March this year to the end of June. And the Commission should have been well aware of the constraints that it faced and should really have scheduled all of these necessary witnesses in good time. And, you know, the Commission has known for some time now that they were not going to be able to finish by the end of June. So this application should really have been made much earlier. And I know in his affidavit that was filed today, Deputy Chief Justice Zondo has sought to explain why this application is being made so late, but it really does put the courts under pressure, and you know, he should have taken the nation into his confidence much earlier to indicate that he was not going to be able to meet this deadline.
But do you think that it inevitably needs to be extended?
Well, it has to, you know, inevitably, because it's quite clear that he cannot produce a report in the 2 weeks or so that's remaining in this month. And that an extension of some sort is necessary. I think the court's going to have to decide whether the 3 months that is being requested is reasonable and necessary. In his affidavit, again, the Deputy Chief Justice says that the report should be complete by the end of August, but he's asking for an additional month's leeway. And, you know, it may be that the court says, well, if the report can be ready by the end of August, then that's the time frame that you should work within. Because I think we're all getting frustrated about the continual, you know, extension of this Commission of Inquiry. Its work is critically important, and the information that it has uncovered will certainly help us to deal with state capture, but there's got to be an end point at some time, and you know, the sooner the better.
We have seen with previous commissions of inquiry, even when sort of quite startling things are uncovered and startling claims are made, we don't often see a massive result coming out of those commissions, which then, of course, raises the question, is all the time and money ultimately worth it? Do you think this commission is different?
Well, I think it might be different for some reasons. So, you know, generally, the recommendations of a Commission of Inquiry are merely that, they're recommendations. They have to be implemented by other stakeholders. It is a report that will be presented to the President. He will have to take whatever necessary action. If there are referrals to law enforcement agencies, they will have to take action. You know, the most recent example we've seen was probably the Marikana report, where we didn't see action from the law enforcement agencies, but in fact, it is the State Capture Commission that has been telling us why that didn't happen, because those law enforcement agencies themselves were captured and therefore didn't prosecute those implicated in the murder of people at Marikana. But we've seen a different example more recently with the Nugent Commission on SARS, where they completed their work within 5 months and action was taken. Tom Moyane was removed as the Commissioner of SARS. And we've seen implementation. So it's really, I would say, a question of political will as to whether those recommendations are going to be implemented and how speedily they get implemented.
And I suppose an extension is going to allow a bit more time to deal with the issue of Jacob Zuma. Of course, we're still awaiting a decision from the Constitutional Court after Zuma defied their order that he should actually appear before the State Capture Commission. Why do you think it's taking the Constitutional Court so long?
Well, you know, I've no answer to that, Sally. I have no idea why it's taken the court as long as it has. They wrote to Mr. Zuma 2 weeks after the hearing in March to ask what an appropriate sanction would be, which to my mind indicates that they are finding him guilty of contempt of court, and why they haven't pronounced on that sanction yet, I've no idea. I think the reality, though, insofar as the State Capture Commission is concerned, is that Mr. Zuma has made it quite clear that even if he's forced there kicking and screaming, he's not going to answer questions, and I think the Commission is going to have to conclude its work, regrettably, without the evidence of the former President.
Well, thank you so much. That's Lawson Naidoo, the Executive Secretary of CASAC, the Council for the Advancement of the Constitution of South Africa.